Okay, so I know I've talked about a lot or a good amount of how I like to game. Other games I like to play apart from like Rocket League that I talked about in a different video is Gran Turismo. It's a racing game, really fun. You can use any kind of car you want, almost any kind of car you want. Um, you can buy new cars, used cars, or maybe you get like some older ones like a 1965 car. You can basically, like I said, almost get any car you want. A few of the cars I enjoy using are like my R34, R35, my Mark IV Supra, also my Enzo Ferrari, which is kind of a hard car to get. You have to get like a private invitation for that car. But yeah, it's really fun. One of my favorite circuits is the Le Mans. It's a really fun, cool circuit because it has some nice tight turns, along with just some straight shots that you have to drive through. You can My Enzo goes around like 200 something in that car. It's really fast, but it can spin out, which is the bad thing. But apart from that, obviously it tracks your lap time, and one way to maybe go through like lap times in a certain amount of laps is in this case by using a for loop. Um, my average lap is like around 3 point something, 3.5, 3.6. It takes me like 3 minutes and a half to get through the lap. So I'm gonna create over here a list of different lap times for around 5 laps. So I'm gonna say my Enzo time is equal to my list. Let's say I start at like 3.6, then I go to 3.65, get a bit slower. Maybe I slow down too much on one of the turns. Say 3.57, a little faster. Let's see, 3.55, 55, even faster, and let's say my last time was my fastest at 3.5. Okay, so that's something simple. We created our list. So normally, what you would do to get these items, you could do like print Enzo time at a certain position, but that's too many print statements back to back to back. So one thing, like I said, you could use a loop. So it's called a for loop. You do for, let's say here you define a variable that's gonna loop through your list. In this case, I'm gonna say for lap time in, for lap time in, and then I'm gonna say my list. So I'm gonna say Enzo time. Then I'm gonna do colon. And whenever you wanna print out or do something within a for loop for the amount of times it reaches that variable to reach the end of your list, you wanna indent. So like in this case, you see I'm gonna print out each individual lap time. So I'm gonna indent and I'm gonna put print to so that it prints each individual lap time. If I didn't do that, it wouldn't work. If I didn't indent, it think that what I wanted to print was after the for loop, so it would print nothing. So I would do print the lap time, and that's easy, simple. And then here I'm gonna just do that, and boom, you see 3.6, 3.65, and so forth. So it starts at the beginning of your list, goes all the way to the end. Another way you can print this is also by doing this. You can do another for loop where you can go for, let's say this time in, and then I'm gonna create a range. Then I'm say length of Enzo time. So this is a bit more, but here I'm just basically saying for a range in the length of Enzo. So Enzo, like I said, you have 3.6, 3.65, 3.57, 3.55, and 3.5. So you have these different ones, and they're all like their own positions. Boom. And like I said, positions, so they have their positions starting at 0, going to 4. So the length is 5 because you start at 0, but there's 5 items here, so the length is 5. So that's in length 5. And by saying my range, I'm just going from the beginning to length 5, or like I said, from 0 to 4. Just saying, okay, I go from the beginning to the end of whatever the length is. So that's one way. It's a bit more writing, but it's a bit more useful. So I could do something like print. Here, however, in the print, it's not just going to be time. Here, I'm going to have to do Enzo time at time. Boom. Let me see here. It's going to print it twice. So my first for loop printed 3.6, all the way to 3.5, and then my second one did the exact same 3.6, 3.65, 3.5. Just repeated the print. So one thing you can do in this kind of for loop where you use the range and the length is add something. So like maybe I said the lap time is equal to, so I can do is nef sim so f lap. I can do something like lap time plus plus 1. Oh, the wrong one. Plus 1. Lap 1 time is, bear with me, is then Enzo. Boom, boom, and oh, what'd that happen? Okay, that's what happened. Lap 1 time is boom, simple. So basically saying I'm starting time. So time starts at 0 initial because that's where the first value is. But by doing time plus 1, I'm just adding 1. It doesn't skip ahead. It's just saying so when it prints, it goes lap 1, lap 2, lap 3. Because if I just left time alone, the code wouldn't work. It'd throw it an error. So just by saying plus 1, I'm just saying, okay, let's say this is 1, but not position 1. It's a bit confusing, but you're going to see what I mean right now. So doing that, and then here I have to do Enzo time again. So here it's going to happen. Oh, no. As you can see, now it says lap 1 time is 3.6, lap 2 times 3.65. Like I said, doing that little part up here, right there, time plus 1, that's just doing so like it shows what part of the loop I'm in. I'm in the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, fourth iteration, fifth iteration. Iterations are just cycles, like first cycle, second cycle, and so on. So that's something you can do when you do like a range length here. If I try doing that up here, it wouldn't work. It would just be an error because Python is, or code, or computers in general are dumb unless you tell it exactly what to do. So we could do something like that. One final thing we can do also is maybe I want to get the first three times of the lap. So something I can do is for, let's say time again, in range, then the length of Enzo time, boom. Let's say I have a total here. Let's say total is equal to 0. Boom, simple. Now let's say here, maybe I want to add like the total or something. So let's say a total time it took me to complete the 5 laps. So total is equal to total plus, let's say Enzo on time at time, and then maybe at the very end of my loop want to print just the total. Oh, I don't want to copy my code. Boom, we're good. Run it. So now down there you can see right there at the bottom, at the very bottom of lap 5, you can see the total is 17.87. Obviously it took me 17.87, let's say 17 and 50 something seconds to complete the whole 5 laps. Pretty fast. Like I said, the Enzo's pretty fast. But yeah, that's what we normally use for loops for. You know, you can cycle through a list. You can do something with that list. Here I created a total that tracks the whole total times of Enzo. One thing I want to show you guys is, like I said, indentation matters. So let's say I didn't have this print at the very end. It would, if I had this print indented like that, it'd think it was part of the last for loop. So what it would do is each time that for loop runs, it's gonna print the total over and over. So down here, you're gonna see it's gonna say 3.6 because that's first. Then it added 3.65 to 3.6, got 7.25. Then it added 3.57, got a bit more complicated, got a big 10.82. Then added 3.5, got a big decimal, got 17 at the very end. Like I said, if you indent a certain thing in a for loop, it's gonna run through that whole for loop. So here, print ran each time that for loop ran. But like I said, you could do that, or you could just not indent it, and now when you run it, it's gonna only go once. So yeah, that's one good way to use for loops. It's really cool because it kind of helps you not go through the route of printing something in list every single time. It could just like iterate through that whole list, give it out, or it could do a bunch of calculations by doing like addition, like I did with the total up here, and you don't have to worry about single-handedly going through a list and adding everything up. It's really cool. There's a one way to do for loops. There's other ways that can be more complex, but there's a good starting point. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck.